Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the BH Sales Chemical Holistic Healing Hour with your host and moderator, me, Grandpa Bill. Some of you via invitation, and maybe not right at the time of this taping due to the time changes. Tim and I just kidded around with that a little bit. My two church mice, Peter and Paul, each and every day, 6 years in running our daily shows. We do a couple of audio shows. You guys and gals that are here regularly, know I want to cut right to the chase because this is very important. Wherever you are hearing this, and when you guys and gals probably hear this, you'll know that it's now official that the election here in the United States has now been completed. We go like this, and Donald Trump is once again the president, now the 47th president, and of course he was indeed the 45th. So that's what we're going to talk about for about 45 minutes here today. And I asked him to enunciate and elaborate on what the gods, the golden ones, are thinking about things right now, today, or when you guys and gals are hearing this. But real quickly, I kind of get a little bit of a prayer that embraces kind of all of the current events over the last couple, 3 years, right up to and including now. So real quickly, I just want to shoot for this, and we're going to introduce Tim. May my heart and mind align, beating as one in perfect harmony. Fill me with your radiant light, illuminating the pathways between my heart and my brain. Let the rhythm of my heart, a symphony of love, guide my thoughts and actions. Awaken within me the healing frequencies, the vibrational medicine that resides deep within my being. Let these energies flow freely, mending and restoring my body, my mind, and my spirit. As I breathe in your love, let it resonate through my heart, calming my mind and soothing my soul. May I become a beacon of peace, radiating love and compassion to all that I encounter. In this sacred union of heart and mind, may I experience the profound healing power of your love. Amen. Tim,
Amen.
my friend, way over there in China, how you doing? Your evening and in the wee hours over here on the east coast of Maine. How you doing?
Bill, I am doing perfect as I normally always do. I was, because of the time difference of 13 hours between China and the United States, I could watch everything about the election today. From the time that they closed the voting in the East Coast to the West Coast, so I enjoyed watching everything and hearing what was going on. And Trump mentioned something that this was the start of the golden age for America. He mentioned that about a week ago, and he mentioned it again today once he secured the presidency, which he hasn't been sworn in yet, and he will be sworn in on the 20th. We knew on 21 December 2012, we knew it was the start of the fifth dimension vibrational frequency for our solar system. Our solar system moved from a third dimension frequency of selfishness and ego and power and abusiveness to a fifth dimension vibratory frequency of compassion and love and the oneness of creation. And so when that happened in 21 December 2012, the Golden Ones told me it was the start of the Golden Age. And the Golden Age is the age when we no longer need to experience the death, birth, re-death cycle, because if we're in a consciousness where we're expressing all our thoughts, words, and actions out of love, then there's no reason to experience the birth, death, rebirth cycle. We only experience the birth, death, rebirth cycle if we're creating too much negative karma and we need to go back and get re-educated between lives, or if we're changing genders or responsibilities or belief systems, or if we're changing something that we need to experience in another aspect of our life. But now that we're in the golden age, we no longer have to experience the birth, death, rebirth cycle. Now, you know that we have the prayer to remove emotional parasites. We can clean our subconscious mind of all negative thoughts and fears and so forth. So when we do that, we vibrate automatically at a higher frequency because our body is no longer in a fear mode. Every cell in our body has the DNA is in every cell of our body. And within the DNA are amino acids. And when a soul is happy and joyous and uplifting, 90% of those amino acids vibrate. And when they vibrate, the universal law of creation recognizes that the soul is in harmony, balance, order, and unity with the universal law of creation, and it knows what's in the heart and desires of the soul, and it will manifest events in the soul's life experiences to manifest the desires and dreams within the soul. So that's when a soul is happy. When a soul is in a fear or a negative consciousness, the amino acids within the DNA do not vibrate. They vibrate, but very little. And so it doesn't send a signal to the universal law of creation, that it doesn't get the universal law of creation's attention to assist this soul and to synchronize life experiences to make the soul dreams and desires to manifest. So we know that we can clean our subconscious mind from all negative and unhealthy feelings and thoughts. Next thing is we know we can keep the body healthy with the what we have on the website is Perfect Health, where there's an article where you can raise the alkalinity in the body. Disease comes into the body when it's in an acid state. And if you keep the alkalinity in the body up, then no diseases can develop within the body. So there's a formula of half a lemon, squeezed lemon juice, and baking soda, a quarter of a teaspoon of baking soda, and water. And the first sign of any unhealthy physicalness within the body, just drink this mixture, and your body will be healed. You'll raise the alkalinity of your body. So the soul can take care of their physical body, they can take care of their spiritual body, and then they can concentrate on being vibrating in the fifth dimension frequency of love and compassion. And when this happens, then the soul no longer needs to experience the birth, death, rebirth cycle. If the soul embraces who they are. Now, the conscious mind can only hold one thought at a time. So if the soul believes that they're going to die, and if they get to a certain age, they will die and so forth, then we create our own reality. We will die. And if the soul dies, and that may be what the soul needs to do, is to die. But for those souls that believe that they are a spiritual being, they believe that this earth is a spiritual training school, that we're here to train as co-creator gods, then to to ascend from this training school, then they can embrace who they are and, like I said, embrace that they are co-creator gods and goddesses and be mindful of their expressions, their thoughts and feelings, words and actions in every moment, and being loving and compassionate. And when this happens, they will find that their obstacles in their life will be removed and their dreams and desires will manifest, which will make them happy. And when the soul is happy, they'll make the people around them happy. So we are in the golden age, and I just found it ironic that President Trump mentioned that the United States will be or go into be the golden age for America. And we're saying it's the golden age for everyone here in this Earth Spiritual Training School. So,
Tim, do you think he went to? It's kind of probable. How could he not? How could he not have? And it's probably pretty obvious that he did. But whatever his spirituality was beliefs or whatever, when he turned his head the right way in that split second, do you think that changed everything for him in every connotation of the word, including his own spirituality? Do you think it went to a whole different level?
I think probably all it did was just reinforce within him that he is guided, guarded, directed, and protected, and that he has a mission, and that he knows that he's protected. That he's. I've seen him express that United States is a Christian. I don't know if he uses a spiritual community or a spiritual country or a religious country or how he says it, but he indicates that he believes in God and so forth. So I think he is a spiritual being. I know he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke.
He doesn't.
No.
He doesn't, and he just never has either. He just hasn't. Whatever you think about him or whatever, those are truisms about him.
Yeah.
Amongst the many things that may not be true about him. But those are true. Those are just true facts. Love him, hate him, whatever, those are true about him. He doesn't imbibe.
Yeah. So whether he finishes out his 4 years or not, that is
chronology and whatever. I don't know what kind of health he's in. I don't claim to know that. And chronology might play an instance for him. Now, speaking of that, God forbid, what are the gods seeing and whatever about maybe everybody taking a deep calming breath in regards to him? Or does he still have that target that supposedly was put on his back by whatever and whomever?
Well, I don't think so. I think what I feel is that he mentioned that when he became president in 2016, he had no idea how the government was operating. He didn't know who to put in charge of what. A lot of advisors came by that he didn't know, and they recommended this person and that person and this person and that person. And he admits that he selected people that were not the right people. Now, over the past 8 years, he has come into the realization who he can trust and who he cannot trust, and the characters of the people around him. So what I feel, Bill, is he selected a very good vice president, J.D. Vance.
He did.
Very knowledgeable, articulate, well-spoken young man. And Trump will select people in the right cabinet to do the right things. And he's got a lot of powerful people that are outspoken. I like this Tulsi Gabbard, that lady that was from Hawaii. She was ex-military and she was a Democrat. She converted to a Republican. She speaks well. She knows what's going on. RFK, who switched from a Democrat to support Trump. Um, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan. There's some powerful people that will support Trump, and I think that the world needs to change. I think he'll stop the war in Ukraine and Russia.
I
I
agree.
think he'll stop the war in the Middle East. And I think a lot of other countries will support Trump in what Trump believes to be better for the whole world. I know that Trump and Putin are good friends. And I know that Trump and Xi Jinping here in China are good friends too. They respect one
I
another.
was just gonna ask. I mean, it's very, very, very early, obviously, in the whole spectrum. Everybody's got to kind of take it all in and all of that good stuff. But how does the populace over there perceive that victory?
Well, it's funny. A lot of people like Trump here. And on TikTok, there's a lot of articles about Trump and so forth. They
Yep,
think Trump is funny and
yep.
they like Trump. So for whatever reason, they wanted to see Trump win. I don't know. I didn't talk to him, but the kids in the high school, my students said that they all are for Trump, that they all
For
wanted
everybody
to
that
see
doesn't
Trump.
know, I'm sorry, Tim. For everybody that doesn't know it at this juncture, Tim's been with me a number of times, but he teaches kids English over there.
Yeah.
And Tim, on that note, refresh. What is the age spectrum of the kids that you are teaching? Grade level,
Um,
whatever.
from age 6 to 16.
Look at that. So
Eh,
now are their school systems with our jargon? Are they kindergarten, grade school? Probably not classified as such, but
Well,
that would be a grade. That would be again grade school age, right?
they,
6.
they start kindergarten around the age of 6, and they
Okay,
start
okay,
teaching in primary school, which is the second, third, fourth, fifth, and
got it.
sixth grade.
Yep.
They'll start the children. And then there's the seventh, eighth, and ninth, which is called the middle school. And then
Okay,
high school is the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade.
okay.
And the kids here go to school. Mm, Bill, they go to school about 10 hours a day,
I
and
know
they
they
have
do. I
two
know it
hours of
on the dam
homework
there. Yeah.
every night. I mean, the
It's why they're so brilliant and so
well,
smart and so studious and so attention to detail and pretty much all of it.
they're extremely smart kids. Now,
They really are.
the ones I I'm dealing with 6 and 7 year olds that understand me when I speak English, and I get the biggest kick out of these kids, Bill, because
That's amazing.
I can ask them simple questions like, "What's this color? What's this animal?
And they can
What's
answer
this?"
and they can answer you.
Yeah,
And they can
they're
answer you. That's
listening and they
that's
answer,
wonderful.
and I can joke with them, and they get the joke and they laugh back and they smile back at me. At first, they're shy of a foreigner, and it takes
Right. Right.
for the younger ones it takes a couple of classes to get used to me, but they
Right.
realize that we have fun. I have a lot of animated games, video games, ABCs, numbers, animals, and so forth. So I play with them. I play with the little ones. And what I've started doing now is with my third graders is asking them questions because they have to learn to listen. They have to
Okay.
learn to listen in English, translate it, what they heard, translate it into Chinese, get the answer in Chinese, and then translate the answer back to me in English. So it's a little challenging process for the third graders that are only 8 years old. But I'm learning that I have to start that early with them so that they can speak English eventually, where we can have conversations. And
But
I
Tim,
much enjoy, huh?
the native tongue within the country itself probably predominant to the regions within, but is it still predominantly Mandarin? oriented
Well, I don't
within?
know. I think it's Chinese.
Yep,
There's different types of Chinese
there
now.
are. There are, because I'm self-teaching Mandarin, and boy, am I struggling. But I'm an old man, and it's the inflection, and we're just so conditioned to speak in one language over here, old school myself.
Yeah, I
But
don't.
it's so fascinating of a language, Mandarin.
I have a Chinese wife, so I don't eat.
Yep.
If I need anything in
You
Chinese,
speaking English? You speaking?
oh yeah,
I'm
she
teasing.
speaks English. Yes.
No, no, no. I'm saying you do. I'm teasing you a little bit. I'm teasing you a little bit when
Well,
you
there's
confer with
certain
her.
there's certain words I pick up here and there, and I'll use them
Yep.
if I need
Yep.
to. Um,
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, but mostly I
It's
don't.
such a fascinating culture. It's such a fascinating culture, and they're such a docile, aren't they? I mean, for the most part, I mean, you got offset people no matter where you go. But I mean, they're so docile and they still respect the elderly in high, high, high regard, correct?
Yes, in fact,
Yep.
the grandparents are in charge
Raise
here.
them.
Yeah,
But
they
the
raise them.
grandparents basically raise them while the parents work, correct?
Yeah, both parents will work, and the grandparents will raise the children. And that's what sometimes causes trapped souls is when the grandparent dies and they don't want to leave the child.
Correct.
They don't have to move on to the next level of soul development. So they'll
Correct.
stay behind and attached to the child. And sometimes I have to remove that attachment
I'll
because
bet.
when I talk to them and I know like they have bad dreams
I'll
or
bet.
they feel someone's behind them or something like that. So they'll tell me something that indicates to me that I'll do the prayer protection around them and
Correct.
remove any attachments they have and so forth.
That's where the grandparents are actually get most assuredly playing the duality role of their mom and dad in the absence of their mom and dad,
Yeah,
while they're with the grandparents. So that's a tough loss. I mean, it's always tough, but that's a real tough loss for the kids when
yeah.
they have that adoration for the culture of the grandparents, for sure. I bet you run into that quite often, especially with the younger ones. It's probably even harder still, right?
Well, most of the I won't say most of the time, but sometimes the grandparents will bring the child to the class because I do it one on one. They come into my
Okay.
home, and so I'll work with the child while the grandparent, mostly it's the grandmother, will bring the
I'll
child
bet.
here, and she'll sit
I'll
during the
bet.
class and so forth.
Yep. But she's also she's in there with you.
Well, she's
She's
in
in the
there
actual.
too, and she gets
Yep.
an appreciation of how I handled the child,
That's what I was
and
gonna say. Right.
yeah,
Right.
and she learns to appreciate a foreigner in the country too.
So you've obviously, Tim, you've been there well over a decade now. So you've got that vote of confidence now. You're not like the foreigner, unless it's a brand new crop of young children at the first, initiation period. But you got the vote of confidence now,
Well,
right?
not only that, but I get a lot of reference from parents that,
So they know you. Yeah.
yeah, well, they'll recommend that to say have another child. If someone's looking for an English teacher, they'll recommend me and so forth. So I
And
get some nuance.
humor aside, if Grammy and Grandpa, under that premise, are referring you, that does carry some fun. That
Yeah,
carries some thunder, and
yeah.
yeah, of course. And out of all due respect, what's their term for Grandpa and Grammy or Grandma or Grammy and Grandpa? Over there, what would be their term for either, or is it diversified like ours? Grammy, Grandpa.
Well, I teach them grandpa and grandma, so they know
So they
grandpa,
know.
grandma, and so forth.
Yep. Yep.
Um, like I said, I teach them English, and they'll learn the English terminology referring to their grandparents and so forth. Grandparents, grandmother, grandfather, and so forth.
Okay, let's sway this back a little bit, and thank you for that. I like the audience to have an appreciation of how we're being perceived across the big pond, how it's being perceived, how the cultural thing, children learning English. I think it's so refreshing for us to know and hear it from the source when sometimes we might not be hearing it from the source,
Yeah,
so to speak.
Bill, when I came here 10 years ago, I had no concept of why my teachers wanted me to come here and to China.
You've exchanged that with me in my audience before, but continue,
Yeah,
continue.
and they just told me to sell everything in America and move to China. And I've,
Okay, okay,
well, you know what?
okay.
And they'll
I'm
say,
teasing. I'm
okay.
teasing a little.
Well,
I'm
see,
teasing a
they
little.
told me to one time to go to Peru to work with a shaman, and I selected, or they told me to take a vacation. And I selected going, I thought I selected going to Peru to work with a shaman. And then
Right.
that's where I learned about the ayahuasca and drink the
And you've exchanged
ayahuasca.
that and shared that with us before, your
And it's
story.
like, and then they told me to come to China and sell everything. And it was a good point in my life where it was like, okay, I'll do this. And I got here and everything worked out fine. My credit card didn't work. I just met the right people at the so forth and the right people to get me to the right place. And now I'm here. I'm teaching English. It's not my intention to teach English, but I have the ability to be established and stable where I can do my website, do these podcasts, send things out. I don't have to worry about the United States government monitoring my work or anything like that. Not that I'm doing anything wrong, but
That's kind of the point. That's kind of the point because you're not. But continue,
yeah,
continue.
I don't. Yeah, well, the thing is that some things I put up on YouTube is being edited and so forth, so I can't do
Correct.
that.
Correct.
But
Correct.
besides that, it's very, I can do podcasts like with you and with anybody all over the world. I have a very stable environment where I can do the work for
You
the
really
golden
do.
ones.
And again, I always give kudos to fellow podcasters because we are all in this together. We do this for a different reason, a much more important reason. Renata is one that Renata's been with you what eight times. I'm probably underestimating. You guys have done a few shows. I listened into the most recent one, and he's done. Oh my God, Tim's done a bunch of podcast shows over the years.
Well, the thing is these shows. I want to talk about things. I have been taught so much, Bill. My
Yeah,
teachers have given me so much experience to relate to individuals, so to help them out to remove obstacles in their life and how the power is within them, and not to rely on doctors or psychiatrists or whatever, that they have the power within them. And there's tools on the website, the Ascension Master Program, the prayer to
correct.
remove emotional parasites, the prayer of protection, um, the tools where a soul can embrace those three tools and connect with the power within themselves and take control of their life without putting their power into the hands of someone else. I don't want anyone to follow me or anything like that, but just follow the teachings of the golden ones, which is on the website. And the tools are there, and I'm always willing to talk to anyone about challenges in their life, to how they can overcome them and so forth. So,
When you get to the site as well, and many of you with your degree of familiarity, or at this juncture, perhaps not yet, wherever you fall on that spectrum, the gamut is covered there: couples, relationships, and videos and articles, and the ascension programs in between the cycles. That's what we have Tim come somewhere, and usually around, embraced around, including the current one. So we want to keep Tim to about 45 minutes. And thanks, Tim. I kind of took it in a different direction, but I thought that was important to get the ambiance of what it is all about in this planet. And thank you for reinforcing that there isn't all sinister and that kind of stuff. So here's what I'm hearing in my meditations, and I'm really trying to focus in. And I've been doing a lot on the nature side of it with Ariel through the animals and so forth. And I've been hearing November 11th, November 11th, November 11th. And I'm trying to focus in on that a little bit. And I'm kind of hearing it astrologically that that might be the change in the overall mindset, our collective deep calming breath, if you will, that that is where we turn the proverbial corner? Or am I getting a little tiny bit overzealous there or totally misreading November 11th?
And Bill,
For some reason, I keep seeing the number 11 and it's 1111. So I'm assuming that's no, I'm just reaching at straws. But I've heard other astrologers within my entourage of the shows I go to listen to, the astrologers that I've had on the shows, that November 11th is some kind of an astrological mind shift. I'm
Bill,
getting on. Go ahead, Tim, please.
back in the 80s, late 80s, there was, I'm trying to remember now, 1111. That was 1111 was something.
Besides Veterans Day here in the states, but
Well, no, it was a spiritual day. It was a spiritual time. And I don't know if, I'm trying to remember now, 1111, if it meant that the new children were coming into the planet. They called them the Blu-ray children.
correct.
Excuse me.
Maybe that's what I'm all around the mulberry bush with, Tim. That right there, maybe, perhaps. Continue.
Well, see, the souls coming into the planet do not want to come in when the earth was in a third dimension, ego, abusiveness, power, frequency. And they wanted to come incarnate into the planet when the planet was in where we are now, the golden age. So, Bill, maybe what you're hearing or what you're triggering is new souls coming to the planet that are spiritual souls, souls that are already in the co-creator God frequencies that are the new leaders in the world to come. There's some powerful women in Congress right now that speak very well. That hold on one second. See, thousands of years ago, the women were in charge of the planet. Women operate out of the right side of the brain, which is artistic, caring, nurturing, intuitive. Men come out of the left side of the brain, which is logic, systematic, organization, and so forth. And so in the olden days, the women who cared for the people were governing the planet. And it was up to the men where the women would say, I feel we need a supply system in case of a famine. And the men would say, okay, we'll organize something. They'll go out and work with the farmers and to raise the crops and store them and so forth and so forth. So I kind of feel that what's coming in the future is powerful women leaders. Maybe not for another 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but eventually women to assume their power on the planet to bring the nurturing, the caring, the compassionate into this earth, the new golden age. Now, both men and women operate out of the brain. women are more 75% right side brain, compassionate, nurturing, and caring, and 25% logic and organization and so forth. Men, just the opposite, 75% logic and
Correct.
organization skills and patterns and so forth, and 25% caring and nurturing and so forth. And that's why men being in a family environment, they get to allow that nurturing, that compassion come out when they take care of their children and so forth. So we're all both created in the image and likeness of God, male and female, God characteristics, but we incarnate into different genders so that we can specifically master those God characteristics from that aspect of God. If we incarnate as a female, and then the God characteristics that relate to the mind of God, we incarnate into that gender, male uh, gender, to master those characteristics that come from the mind of God. So eventually, it's our intention to master both the feminine and masculine aspects of God during this Earth Spiritual Training School. So,
Okay, let's close this out, Tim, with this. Apparently, the gods are confident he'll get to the 20th without any impediment or overly more theater or whatever. Do you think, or do they have anything to say? This is like playing in Vegas, I guess, a little bit. What's the number? I tease a little bit. Will
one day,
Biden? Will Biden pardon his son? Probably a given. Will Biden pardon President Trump? Or to be continued, and that's fodder for our next show.
well, usually what they tell me is if I have a thought, like a question like whether Trump would be president or not, or get elected and so forth, they always
Correct.
tell me all is well. And
All
that's
is well.
all is well. And when I have a question like, will this happen? They'll just say all is well, meaning
Okay.
that, and you can take it that, well, whatever happens is okay, but usually it means that what I'm thinking is okay. It's what you're thinking, all is well. Because there's sometimes I question my schedule, and I'll say, is this person coming today? They'll say all is well, and the person
Yep.
shows up. So all is well, and we'll say that Trump will get through his first year in
Okay.
office. He'll get through his first year enough to set the groundwork for the next 3 years.
And then it may just be a matter of God love him, bless him, or whatever chronology and age that might be the predicator as to where he goes moving forward, a year from now, under that premise, as opposed to a viable threat or what have you.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody can just sit here and say that. I realize that. But are we
Yeah.
over the theater? Are we over the theater of it all? Or are we still got to take the 75 days to just let that roll out? And everybody has to deal with it how they have to deal with it. Non-violently, we hope.
Yeah, I think everything's going to be fine.
Okay.
I think everything's going to be fine. Trump has the popular vote. He has the Senate. He
He
has
did
the
win,
House.
by the way. And by the way, if you all don't know that now, he did indeed win the popular vote as
Yeah,
well.
he
Continue.
won the popular vote. He won the House. He won the Senate. And he has the military supporting him.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
So, regardless of what goes on in the background, Trump is well guided, guarded, directed, and protected.
Great. You want to leave with the parasite prayer and that'll be it for the show, or you want to leave now and we'll continue it the next time around? Whatever they're saying and you're feeling.
Let's do the prayer of protection.
Okay.
In the prayer of protection, was given to me many years ago so that whenever I went into meditation, I knew that whatever happened to me was divine guided. And I had many experiences during my meditation that if I wasn't protected, might have scared the hell out of me. But I knew it was divine. And it's also the prayer that will remove, that creates a gateway in you. So if you have a trapped soul in your environment, it will allow the trapped soul to move to the next level of soul development. So we'll do this, the prayer protection for let's do it for the United States, okay?
Okay.
We'll do it for the United States, including Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi,
Of course.
Chuck Schumer,
Of
everybody, Hunter Biden, everybody in America, because we're all souls here in this Earth Spiritual Training School. Some are not in alignment with harmony, balance, order, and unity for the good of all, but that's okay. We've been there where they may be now. So let's do the prayer protection. Mother, Father, God, we thank you. We thank you for surrounding all of our loved ones, surrounding all the continents, America, North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Australia, Antarctica, Africa, all the continents. We surround the Mother Earth in a circle of light, in an armor of love in which nothing can remain and through which nothing can penetrate, unlike divine love itself. Mother, Father, God removes all energies and entities, unlike divine love. Take them to thy Father for light and liberation. The Mother, Father, God frees these souls, frees these energies and entities, and I am accepts no reversal, individually or collectively, for the treatment of these energies and entities. We thank you in the name of the living God consciousness. Satnam. Okay, Bill.
Namaste, my friend. We'll see you again next time.
Namaste.
Topic to be determined. I like this methodology of point of attack with the gods. Unless you have an objection, let's roll with that for a while and see what they have to say the next time around.
Okay, sounds good.
Namaste, Tim. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow. Take a deep, calming breath, everybody. This is a really point in time where we all can get rejuvenated, pick ourselves up, shake ourselves out, dust ourselves off. And this can definitely be the rebirth of the planet as well. We've got some work to do, but I think we have the right captains and so forth to do so. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now, and may God bless. Peace, everybody. Thank you, Tim.
Bye-bye.
Peace, everybody.
See all the teachings of the Golden Ones at www.thepathtooneness.com. Also at YouTube, Timothy Doyle, The Golden Ones. Visit us at Facebook and link it at The Path to Oneness.